All right, so the project that we're going to do is a 4x6 mini album, and it is an autograph book. So what we've done here is we've taken one of our 4x6 snap binders. You can see that has a nice pink linen cover, and then the rest of the cover there is chipboard. These come in a number of different colors, and one thing to note when you see the color of the spine, the color of the papers on the inside also coordinate with that. So what I've done here, we're using our Enchanted Collection, and we're going to start this book by actually making the cover. And one of the questions I get asked most often is, what is the best way to adhere whatever you're adhering to the cover? And my by far favorite thing to use is a glue stick and a brayer. And the reason I use those two tools is because these tend to get handled quite a bit. And when they're getting handled, the paper sometimes will tend to lift a little bit from the edges. So using a glue stick and a brayer kind of helps to ensure that you're not going to have any lift there. So I've pre-cut two pieces that I'm going to use on the cover. And here I will, get this out of the way, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to my cover. I'm going to make sure that I definitely get that glue on the edges. And it doesn't really matter what glue stick I'm using. I just want to get a nice, good, even coverage. I also want to try to make sure that I don't get any big globs of glue because those will, obviously add a little bit of glob underneath our cover. So I'll do that, and I've cut that a little bit small, but it won't matter because when I go ahead and add my ribbon there, it's going to cover that right up. So I usually use my 2 fingers and just kind of spread that around really well. Then I kind of hang the cover off of my work surface just so I don't have the rings that I'm kind of dealing with. And then I'm just going to use my brayer there and really press hard to make sure that I get that glue spread all the way to those edges, and I'm paying kind of extra care to make sure that I get those edges with my brayer. Now, if you don't have a brayer, you could also use a bone folder, even a credit card or a gift card. You just want to make sure to apply enough pressure and push that glue towards the edges. All right, now that's not my last step. The next thing I like to do is actually take a sanding block or sandpaper, and I like to just sand those edges because, again, that's going to remove any possible overhang, number one, from my paper, but then that's also just going to help make sure that I'm not going to have any edges that lift. Now, depending on what I'm working on, sometimes I will just leave those edges like that. I want to make sure to get all that dust off. Sometimes I'll just leave the edges like that, but other times I'll just grab a ink pad and then just ink up the edge a little bit. You can see that just adds a little bit of a finishing touch. From there, on this project, I added another smaller piece of paper. So what I could do there, I can either use my glue stick, and again, normally I'd use regular adhesive if I'm working on the inside, but because it's the cover, I'll either use regular glue stick or I'll even run that through a Xyron machine because then I have kind of one giant sticker and that's going to assure that it does not stick. On this project, I did go ahead and just ink the edges there, just so when I glue that down, it would stand out a little bit more when I put it down. So we'll take a look at that cover again once I'm done with it. So you can see I've added that piece. I added a fun silver chipboard castle from the collection, tied a bow, and then I actually tucked a little chipboard wand right there through the bow. One hint that when I tie ribbon on my binders like this, one of the things I like to do, you can see here, I have put a little bit of a glue dot there, and then I kind of put my ribbon bow on there. So that ensures that my ribbon kind of stays in the right place. I'll also do that with the little tails. I have a little glue dot under there. And then when I open up the book, I'll also add a few strategically placed glue dots there so that that ribbon isn't going to move around a lot. Last thing for the cover, all of our snap binders have this fun metal book plate so that when you set them on the shelf, you can see what your albums are. So I've just taken a sticker from the Expression sticker sheet in the collection. I've added that right there. So it's just kind of a fun little memories sticker there. And that is the cover of our album.